Hello everyone, my name is Nick and I am your world champion, and I hope the world treats you even better than it did when I saw you last time. With Spotify Wrapped coming out just about last week, and it gives all of us a good chance to get a retrospective on our music for the last year. So it got me thinking of a retrospective of not only just my music for this year, but where my music started and how my music taste has evolved over the years. So I thought today would be a great way for you all to get to know a little bit more about me and how obscure my memory can be sometimes, and where my music has gone throughout the years. So let's begin. It was 2008 when I was in first grade, and my music taste was pretty much influenced by everyone else, you know? The earliest memories that I have is I would go over to my cousin's house, and I remember he showed me Holiday by Green Day, and then the next week he showed me American Idiot, and I knew from there, this man knew some bangers, and then he showed me the Gummy Bear song, and then I knew from there, this man knew some bangers. I also just mainly listened to a lot of just mainstream pop back then, like Kesha. I was really bopping Kesha. Dynamite by Tayo Cruz was a crazy song at the time for me. Eeny Meeny by Sean Kingston and Justin Bieber. I think unironically, I can still recite Justin Bieber's verse pretty well.
Let me show you what you're missing.
I remember my school would also do this really weird thing where we would have to answer math problems, and they would just play music over the intercom, and my art teacher, she would be like, 4 times 4, and I was like, 6. And then over the intercom, Black Eyed Peas is playing. So I heard my fair share of rap songs back then, but I wasn't really listening to it until like middle school, I'd say. Also at this time, I remember my brother showed me these like AMVs because we were both really into watching Ben 10. So they put together like these mixes of Ben 10 clips with Linkin Park songs, and that was how I was first introduced to Linkin Park and 3 Days Grace. I remember the first Linkin Park song I heard from them was What I've Done, and it was because of that Ben 10 mix. In 3rd grade, I remember LMFAO and electronic music was really kind of killing it at the time. So Sexy and I Know It, Party Rock Anthem, and a little bit of Skrillex, a lot of what was going around. I wasn't as into Skrillex, but the friends that I had at the time were. Also during this time, in 3rd grade, I really got into wrestling as a kid, so I'm not going to lie to you. The WWE is going to be determining my songs for a good portion of, like, the next, 4 or 5 years.
Shut up, bitch!
I thought I got exposed to some real bangers, but it was like Black Veil Brides, Imagine Dragons, so oof. In 5th grade, I remember Can't Hold Us and Thrift Shop. I got a big cock. And I remember everyone in my 5th grade class would be rapping Thrift Shop, and that sure was something. Also, Gangnam Style came out in 5th grade too, and I remember everyone had different lyrics for that song. No one could agree. Kids would be like, "Whoop on Gangnam Style," and I wanted to whoop on their ass. I heard Up, Up, and Away by Kid Cudi in a Mountain Dew commercial, and it was the first song that I actually ever Shazammed, and I remember going on the YouTube and clicking onto the comments and just seeing all of them being like, yo, I would listen to this and get high as shit, and I'd be like, what are they talking about? I was so confused. So yeah, I would say up to like 5th grade at this point, it was starting to become just a balance of rock music and pop music. At this point though, I was aware also of the hip hop artists like Drake, Kanye. I was seeing Tyler the Creator on commercials for like Loiter Squad, but I don't know why, I just really never got into it. I remember seeing like Mac Miller too on like Ridiculousness. I only knew him from there. I wasn't listening to like kids at that time. Once I got to middle school, I started making YouTube videos on my own, so I got way more into being on the computer, so it like led me way more into being into music at that time. So I remember MTV would do like these hour-long mixes of songs, and I would watch those before I would have to leave for school at like 7:20 in the morning. So fucking early when we were 12 and 13. Why do we have to be up that early? But because of these mixes, I ended up finding artists that I still rock with today. Like, I found Lorde first because of those mixes. Tennis Court and Royals, those were the first songs I heard of there. I remember seeing the music video for La 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 by Sam Smith. If any of you remember that song. I remember me and my friend Kaya, though, would always make fun of the music video and have fun with it. I remember seeing the Vine of the girl that was like,
"You can't sit with us." Actually, Megan, I can't sit anywhere. I have hemorrhoids.
I remember seeing that music video even before I saw the Vine. So I felt clever for knowing that. As well on these mixes, this was the first time I heard Until It's Gone by Linkin Park. And it was my first time again seeing this band like doing new stuff. And it was really cool at the fact that there were still pretty much going on, being creative with the stuff they're doing so late into their career. And then I go back to like 7th grade, which for whatever reason, I can't remember fucking anything about 7th grade. But there was this one night, I remember my friend was singing the chorus to Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson, and I had no clue what song he was singing. But that small moment on Skype was the leading moment as to why I'm able to listen to 80s music today. You know, also in middle school, 7th and 8th grade, that's when we definitely ushered in the emo phase. I wasn't wearing the clothes though, don't worry. I was listening to bands though, like Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens, Hollywood Undead, and I remember like really liking these songs. Like unironically, I was really enjoying them. Because of the WWE, I found Motionless in White and Skillet, and I mean from there, I was latched on to Motionless in White for a good couple years. And for Skillet, I can't listen to a damn song of them today. They sound way too fucking corny. However, though, during this time, too, I found bands like Baby Metal, Of Mice and Men, Bring Me the Horizon, bands that I still listen to today. Like, I love Bring Me the Horizon today, man. Then also, back then, I found Paris and Tonight Alive. You know, I don't feel clever for knowing that one, but shout out to past me. I was really happy. Honestly, but because of WWE, I found Paris. It was because of, they did a pay-per-view theme song. And then during middle school, I remember the SoundCloud wave just ushered in and everyone was really listening. I remember I Spy by Lil Yachty. Everyone was on that track back then. Like I said, I wasn't the emo kid. I mean, I was listening to emo music, but I wasn't dressing emo. I was the neon kid. So do that with what you will. Once I got to high school, music became way more definitive to me. I was really happy just to know that, like, you could keep your headphones in all day and not have to worry about pretty much anything as long as you got your work done. Pop was on the major back burner, and I started listening to hip-hop music at this point, too. The foundations weren't the greatest as to, like, it was a lot of playlist fillers, but the ones that are still on my playlist today end up becoming artists that I'm huge fans of now. You know, I was a big DMX fan in my freshman year. Obviously had me some Kanye, I love me some Ye. Had my Eminem phase because of course I did. When I first got into hip hop music, the lyrics were a huge factor to me. But over the years, I've realized there's way more things that make a hip hop track bang than just the lyrics. For the punk side of things, had a lot of Sum 41. I remember hearing Underclass Hero, and that's like my favorite album by Sum 41. I was honestly on Linkin Park heavy at this point. I was listening to a lot of their live music, and I got really into listening to live music just because of Linkin Park. I was really into Five Finger Death Punch, but that is a band I've grown out of. Issues was a band I was a huge fan of. I would go back to listen to some of their stuff. I would consider it. I was big on Asking Alexandria, but I was really never into, like, the death screaming music. It really just wasn't for me. Hard on Sleeping with Sirens until they released that album that year. I don't remember what the name of it was, but that was the moment I really fell off with them. And then from there, it was the end of me really getting into the emo stuff, because it was just transitioning to, like, what the real pop punk was. It was the end of listening to, like, Black Veil Brides, and, like, you know, I'll say, like, Andy Black is a good vocalist. I think he's pretty good, but, like, Black Veil Bride just have this corny, trying to sound way too hard sound for them. My sophomore year was pivotal for me because this was the year I was totally depressed. So you know what that means. Those Spotify numbers are through the roof. I made a lot of friends who were also listening to pop punk music, and they showed me the stuff that they were listening to, and I was humbly introduced to bands like Neck Deep, State Champs, Real Friends, pretty much all the bands that were in my Pop Punk in the Current State of Affairs video. Check that out if you haven't. I remember I found Taking Back Sunday because of an Aaron Shooning vine. I'll put it in if I can find it.
When you can freaking no scope by a noob and you're out of Mountain Dew?
I found Cane Hill because of the WWE, but dude, I was happy to find him because that Too Far Gone album was f***ing good. For hip-hop music, I got more into guys like Kendrick Lamar. I remember seeing Logic everywhere with that Everybody hoodie. And then I started getting into older stuff like the Beastie Boys, Pharoah Monch, a little bit of Outkast, which was like, and I mean, I just listened to Stankonia yesterday. Mainly during my sophomore year, it was just expanding a lot of the horizons, making more playlists, and finding more artists I can fall in love. My junior year was my favorite year of high school because I discovered way more bands, made way more memories, and just made a lot more friends during this time. It was just all around a good time. Found way more hip-hop music I got into. And again, for the third year in a row, my number of minutes listened to on Spotify Wrapped was higher than the year before. I started listening to more acoustics from the same bands that I listed previous, and I also went to the 2018 Warped Tour at this time, so I got to see bands I hadn't seen ever that I loved from then. Like I saw 4 Years Strong, We the Kings, Dollskin. Big fan of all their stuff. A lot of good pop punk albums got released during this time, like Worcester had released. I remember Identity Crisis. I started listening to Modern Baseball during this time too, and Songs That Saved My Life came out, which was a compilation album of artists doing covers of songs that they were listening to when they were feeling suicidal. It was just a really touching album. It was really good to see that stuff. Overall, my junior year was just a very good year for listening to music. And then once I got the senior year, I remember absolutely none of it. Like, this was the COVID year, so I remember, like, quarantine and after that, but anything before it, I really don't remember. During my junior year, I remember getting in the grandson, and that just amplified itself more. Like, I haven't really stopped with it. It's just even more. But also during quarantine, I remember hip-hop really was the thing I started leaning way more towards. I started getting way more just into hip-hop artists and finding more things to fall in love with about it. Artists like Jay-Z, Tyler, the Creator, and J. Cole, I started exploring their discographies way more. And it's not like I hadn't heard them before, but it's like I had at what was to me looking like infinite time. And I just couldn't stop listening to music during this time too. Over quarantine though, I just unlocked my third eye, being able to just constantly being able to consume music. Started getting way more into indie music. Just like I said before, expanding the horizons. Got into Phoebe Bridgers and Tame Impala, and I remember as well, me and my friend Holden, we would go on nature walks and we would show each other music that we were listening to and finding. So then graduation happened, and it was the weirdest graduation that I think I could have ever had. I was pushed off a stage pretty fucking quickly. Not literally pushed, but like man, I did not feel like we were just meant to be on there. They just wanted us in and out of there as quick as they could. I began listening to artists like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Dominic Fike I'm a big fan of, got way more into hearing a lot of Lorde stuff, and also from here, I'm just listening to way more hip-hop music than I am listening to rock music. There's tons of artists that I didn't name that I listen to because, I mean, there's just so many. There's continuous artists, you know, it's so hard to name every single one that you listen to. I do leave my Spotify in the description if you are interested though. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Big ups to you if you made it to this point, because it's all I could really ask, you know? All I ask for is your time. At this point, I bounce past the ball to you. You can like and subscribe if you want to, but if you do decide to subscribe, I can tell you my next video is going to be a video essay, possibly about a song that got released in the 80s and remade in the 2010s, or it's going to be about a TV show. So, far spectrums. However, if you have an idea about what I should make a video about, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And with all that out of the way, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you the next time I'm looking at you. Peace.